Today, we're going to unearth the true origin of the Day of the Dead, a mystery that few people know. Beyond the colors and joy of the offerings, this celebration holds an ancient legacy that reveals the secrets of life and death from a mystical perspective. Our ancestors didn't just honor their departed loved ones. They believed that on this day, a doorway opens to hidden dimensions, a moment when souls can return, guided by sacred symbols such as the marigold flower, the arch of the altars, and the 7 steps marking the path to other worlds. Join us in discovering the hidden meaning of this celebration and how the Day of the Dead can be more than just a tribute. It's an invitation to explore the mysteries revealed by ancient cultures about life, death, and the rebirth of the soul. The Day of the Dead, celebrated on November 1st, is an ancient tradition that invites reflection on life and death, with a profound focus on transformation and the rebirth of consciousness. Far from being a purely earthly festivity, this tradition is a spiritual ritual that seeks to connect the living with the mysteries of existence and the energies of the beyond. Through the symbolism of death, ancient Mesoamerican cultures, such as the Aztec and the Maya, left us a path towards self-knowledge and the awakening of consciousness, a process that involves the death of the ego and the rebirth of the true spiritual self. For ancient Mesoamerican cultures, death was not a tragic end or a loss. It was a transformation. In their worldview, death was the transition to a new state of existence and an opportunity for renewal. At the core of this belief is the figure of Mictlantecuhtli, the Lord of the Underworld, symbolizing the liberation from psychological elements and inner demons that cloud the pure essence of consciousness. An ancient sculpture of Mictlantecuhtli portrays him as a warrior with an apron that alludes to the mysteries of the arcane AZF and the power of inner transformation. This deity teaches the process of psychological death, where confronting the ego, internal demons, emotions, desires, and thoughts that trap the consciousness becomes essential. Mictlantecuhtli's sandals, adorned with bones, represent the path of constant change. A journey where each step invites the individual to abandon negative behavior patterns and discover their essence. The symbolism of Mictlantecuhtli includes the shamali, or shield, representing the constant battle against the ego. In his iconography, his eyes are sometimes shells or obsidian stones, symbolizing self-observation as the key to transformation. Self-observation is essential for recognizing the dark aspects of one's personality, allowing the initiate to symbolically decapitate the animalistic ego and pave the way for the rebirth of pure consciousness. Cuhtli, Mother Death, also appears in this process as the transformative force that helps the initiate to shed psychological defects. Her intimidating appearance, similar to the goddess Kali from India, with her skull-shaped face, serves as a constant reminder of the inner death necessary for spiritual awakening. Cuhtli symbolizes the removal of illusory elements that trap the essence of the self, guiding the initiate toward a spiritual rebirth where every superficial aspect of the personality is reduced to cosmic dust in deep meditation. Many of the elements found in Day of the Dead offerings are reinterpretations of ancient symbols. For example, in traditional altars, the arch represents the entrance to higher dimensions, or the underworld. When decorated with marigold flowers, this portal becomes a guide for the spirits, who follow the yellow path of these flowers to find their way to the altar and connect with the living. The 7 steps that often adorn these altars reflect the 7 dimensions that the disembodied spirit must traverse on its journey to Tlalocan or Mictlan. This symbolic journey resembles that of the mythological Greek hero Hercules, who is guided by the Cerberus-like dog Xolotl in his descent into the underworld, representing the control of animal instincts and the need to master desires to allow the spirit to advance towards the light. The artistic and ritual elements of the altar, from the marigold flowers to the presence of representative foods like corn, hold deep spiritual symbolism. The marigold flower, for example, guides the spirit with its bright color and aroma, while the corn represents the seed of self-realization and the rebirth of consciousness. However, in modern adaptations, some of these elements have been replaced. Traditional drinks like pulque, originally a symbol of the transmutation of creative energy, have been substituted with the favorite drinks of the deceased, and symbolic garments have turned into common clothing of the departed. These shifts reflect a change towards a more materialistic and personal view of the celebration, rather than the original initiatory and spiritual focus. The tradition invites us to reclaim the profound meaning of these symbols, understanding that the altar is a place of self-observation and reflection on inner death, the shedding of false identities, and the liberation of the spiritual essence. The Day of the Dead is not just a cultural festivity, but an invitation to psychological and spiritual transformation. It reminds us of the importance of psychological self-observation and the constant work of psychological death within ourselves, guided by the symbolism of death as a process of liberation from the ego and the rebirth of consciousness. Mother Death, Kotlekyu, urges us toward the understanding and elimination of psychological defects, revealing the virtuous values hidden within our being, our true I Am. By honoring this celebration and its ancient roots, we are called to remember the spiritual path of our ancestors, a path that not only pays homage to the dead, but encourages us to die psychologically each day to be reborn in a dimension of greater awareness. In this sense, the Day of the Dead becomes a practice of self-knowledge, a moment of deep introspection in which the altar transforms into a battleground for inner struggle and a guide towards spiritual awakening. Thank you for being part of this hidden journey and for sharing our content. We invite you to immerse yourself in each of our videos on YouTube and Facebook, where you'll find a comprehensive course on ancient occult science. This project is a great sacrifice for humanity, an effort to bring this authentic, unaltered knowledge to every corner of the world so that everyone can benefit from these transformative practices. Remember the universal law of giving to receive. The law of correspondence teaches us that all contributions return multiplied in blessings for you and for suffering humanity. Join our mission, and together, let's bring this ancestral wisdom to the world. This is the science of energism, and I am the apprentice of the venerable masters of the White Lodge, who have passed down this eternal truth. Peace.